This is Transformers Fan G138, and this is my video review of Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Wheeljack, who is one of my favorite characters out of the Transformers Prime series, just because he is a lot like a certain sword-wielding Transformer I adore. And I will get into that a little bit more later in robot mode. But if you know who I'm talking about, you understand. But first off here, we've got a really nice looking vehicle mode. It rolls really well. I mean, his wheels are just in this really cool pattern. Like how they spin, they're kind of like awesome to look at. But you know, he does not look like a robot underneath. He looks like he could plausibly be like some sort of weird car. His swords are down there though. They look a little bit fake, but for the most part they're pretty cool, and I'll get into that a little bit later. His windows look sharp. I mean, just the aerodynamic, the look of this looks sharp. The only thing I wish is it had a complete grille here, because these open gaps look kind of strange, and I'll get into why those are there in a minute. But I love this. The mirrors are there. Like, the overall look of him is shockingly awesome. But just a quick comparison versus the with the Transformers Generations version of Wheeljack. You can see the differences in the car sizes to begin with. This guy's much smaller, but he is legitimately looks like it could be Wheeljack. I mean, as far as a classics representation, I think this guy goes much better. But this guy is really cool. I think he's awesome. Not as a Generation 1 Wheeljack, but as a Transformers Prime Wheeljack. Definitely looks sharp. I like the Transformer. Again, I don't like, when I think Wheeljack, I think the Generations and Classics and the original Wheeljack. This is the last guy I think about, but when I see him, he is like, dude, that's Wheeljack, but not that Wheeljack. He is awesome. He really is. And basically, I think that simply because his personality is different, his role is different. Yeah, so if we take off these swords, you can actually plug them into the front of the car here, if I can get this to stay, and have this weird looking, like, stupid looking thing. Personally, I don't like this. I think it's kind of stupid looking, but it's there. Stabs and Decepticons. Oh, great, I'm going to hit you and slide up and jump over the car. That'll work. So, that aside, because I enjoy playing with toys, take these swords off, and I will go ahead and get this guy in. Oh, well, one more thing first. If you have other weapons, you can plug them into either of the side ports here. Yeah, thought I'd just show that off now. So, you can, like, put guns here if you wanted to. It's pretty universal. The taillights are painted, which is shocker on these Prime toys. I honestly think this guy has the most paint apps. The white paint they used here over these gray pieces doesn't quite match. It looks like they didn't put it on thick enough, and you can kind of see the gray underneath it. But overall, it's pretty sharp looking. Again, I think there's more paint apps on this guy than there are on any other Transformers Prime toy. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy in robot mode and show him off some more. So here he is in robot mode, and honestly, I love this guy. I think he's my favorite Transformers Prime toy, next to Soundwave. So yeah, he's awesome. So some cool features. His swords can store right here in his back, which are kind of neat. You know, just slide them in like this. So that's cool. And, you know, it's nifty. I'm going to angle this up a little bit. Sorry if it seems shaky to you guys. Again, I apologize for that. So, yeah, he's pretty awesome. So the swords also can clip onto the shoulders here or store in his hands. You know, for awesome poses. Now, I do wish he came with, like, a gun with him, but, in all fairness, these swords are pretty awesome. So, yeah. You got that. Swords are great. My only complaint about this figure, my one and only complaint about this figure, is the fact that he does not have an Autobot symbol. What is with you, Hasbro? So far, all of the Transformer Prime Robots in Disguise Deluxe class revealers I have do not have Autobot symbols or Decepticon symbols. So far, the only one I've seen that has one is Viacon, and that's only in pictures, and that's only because it's molded into the plastic. What is with that? You're irritating me. But anyway, point being, he's got a really cool head sculpt, and he's the one with the faceplate, so that's nifty. I could probably see Hasbro doing a variant without the faceplate at some point, or there is a third-party company that made a head for it. I wanted to talk about these arms here because they kind of remind me of a specific somebody, and I'm going to bring them on screen right now. Everybody, meet Drift, the Autobot swordsman who looks really close to Wheeljack's Prime mode. So basically it looks like, with the Transformers Prime, my impression is they took Drift and changed his design a little to look more Wheeljack-like. Yeah. So, you know, with the dual swords, I mean, Drift had a third one, but whatever. Minor details. The overall arm design here, it's very similar. It makes me want to say, But you can definitely tell there's Wheeljack elements in here, like the hood of the car being his feet, the head, and the design of the chest. But aesthetically, he could also pass as Drift. I mean, you know, a little bit. You know, I'm not going to go out and say, hey, look what I bought, Drift. No, this is definitely Wheeljack, but he's got, they look like they took Drift and Wheeljack and smashed them together to form this thing, which is actually really cool. I like the design, I like the character in the show, and I really like the toy. Highly recommend this toy, right off the bat. So now we get into the boring part, articulation. Or at least the boring part for me. I don't know. Apparently some people like it. He's got a ball and socket joint here on the foot, but it's on the side, which is interesting. You do have range of motion here, so you can go pretty decent poses. You can really get that foot outstretched and have him balance. This is one of the best Transformers for poses in the Transformers Prime line, just because of his feet movement. A lot of the Prime line does not have this. With that, he's got a kind of like almost like a friction joint here. I mean, it's free-flowing to some points, but it doesn't quite go 90 degrees. It goes pretty close, though. And the wheel is not on the joint either, so it's interesting to see. Also, the knee armor here does tend to want to stay with the upper leg and not the lower leg, so that pulls out on both sides, so that's cool. He does have a swivel up by the thigh as well as a ball and socket hip joint, so it's got some nice motion. He does not have a waist swivel. He does have ball and socket joint head, you know, look around, up, down, all around, you know. He's got really nice posability. As far as his arms go, he's got full range of motion. I mean, his windows up here get a little bit in the way with the armor, but minor details. Oh, that's the other thing. I don't really notice these, so I don't complain about them a lot, but they are there, so just to warn you. In person, you do not see them as much as you do on screen. I remember thinking that in the reviews, and that I watched, and they are pretty cool. I mean, they work. They're not a complaint. They're not too big of a complaint for myself. I think they're okay. So he's got this movement. He's got movement here, a hinge here, as well as a hinge right in the arm. So that's nifty. He's got a hinged elbow, which goes back further than normal, but minor details. And then down at his hand, he's got a ball and socket joint in there, although the sword kind of limits the motion of it. There you go. It's also got a hinge built into it too, so you can get some nice sword poses. Like, you know, but the sword handle itself gets in the way of the armor. Or the armor gets in the way of the sword handle, whatever the way you want to look at it. I like this figure. I rank it as my favorite Transformers Prime toy. If you don't have one, pick him up, because he is amazing. Of course, I've always been partial to sword-wielding characters. I like swords, and especially characters who have swords in toy form. Also, a nice note to know, these are hard plastic. They do have some flex to them, but they are hard, unlike Drifts, who are rubber. So, something to look forward to there. So yep, that concludes my Transformers Prime, Robots in Disguise, Wheeljack, Transformer video review. So, if you have any further questions on the figure itself, or about the Transformers Prime line in general, please post a comment down below, and I will get back to you. If you have any more requests for video reviews, I don't have any requested on the list right now, so if you want to make a request, please post down below or send me a message. I will get back to you and add it onto the list. So that concludes it. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.